The wind howled over the edge of the mountain, carrying the smell of pine and rain. A silver SUV stopped near the rocky cliff, its engine humming low. Inside sat Ethan Caldwell, a 34-year-old man with a face too polished to show guilt. His tailored suit didn't belong in the wilderness. But the old woman in the passenger seat, frail, silent, and paralyzed, did. Her name was Margaret Caldwell, once the heart of a family, now the burden her son wanted to unload. The dog in the back seat, Buddy, a loyal golden retriever, whimpered softly, sensing something was wrong. Ethan looked at his mother's motionless face. Her eyes, still alert, met his. He forced a smile. "Mom, you always loved the mountains," he said, voice trembling between fake affection and irritation. "It's peaceful here, isn't it?" Margaret couldn't answer. The stroke had taken her speech, but not her awareness. She blinked once slowly. It was enough for Buddy to whine again. Ethan turned the car off and exhaled. "Mom," he whispered, "I can't do this anymore. The nurses, the bills, the endless care. I'm drowning." He stepped out, walking around to her side, his leather shoes crunching on gravel. "I'll make it quick," he murmured. "You won't feel a thing." He wheeled her chair to the edge. The fog was thick, swallowing everything below. One push. That's all it would take. Margaret's eyes widened. A tear slipped down her wrinkled cheek. Buddy barked frantically, clawing at the window. Ethan hesitated for just a second, then pushed. The chair rolled forward, disappeared into the mist. Silence. Buddy howled long, haunting, and desperate. Ethan stood there, breathing hard, his heart pounding against the guilt he refused to feel. "It's done," he muttered. "It's better this way." He got back into the car, started the engine, and that's when Buddy lunged. The dog bit his arm, snarling with pure rage. "Buddy! Stop!" Ethan shouted, shaking him off. He kicked the door open, shoved the dog out, and sped away, leaving Buddy barking in the rain. But Buddy didn't stop. He ran limping, soaked, relentless toward the edge of the cliff. Hours passed. Then, movement. Down below, tangled in branches, Margaret's wheelchair had snagged halfway down the slope. She was still alive. Buddy barked from above, pacing wildly. He found a narrow path, dirt crumbling under his paws, and scrambled down toward her. When he reached her, he licked her face, whimpering. Margaret blinked, eyes shining with tears of gratitude. The dog stayed beside her, curling up against her frail body through the freezing night. The next morning, a hiker named Tom Reeves, a retired veteran, heard the barking echoing from the valley. He followed the sound and froze at what he saw. "Good Lord!" he whispered, seeing the battered wheelchair, the shivering woman, and the loyal golden retriever guarding her like a soldier. He called 911. Within the hour, rescue crews arrived. Margaret was alive but weak. As they lifted her into the helicopter, Buddy refused to leave until they carried him to 2 weeks later, City Hospital. Margaret lay in a hospital bed, pale but recovering. The doctors called it a miracle. The police called it attempted murder. Detectives visited her room daily, but it was Buddy who told the story first. When they found Ethan's SUV, muddy paw prints led straight to the back seat. Hair samples matched Buddy's dashcam footage recovered from the car's onboard system showed everything: the drive to the cliffs, Ethan's words, the final push. When Ethan was arrested at his luxury condo, he didn't resist. He just whispered, "I thought no one would ever know." But someone did. A dog who refused to forget. A month later. Margaret sat in her wheelchair again, this time on a sunny hill overlooking the park. Buddy sat beside her, tail wagging slowly, a bandage still on his leg. Tom, the hiker who saved her, visited often. He brought her coffee and shared quiet moments that didn't need words. "You're stronger than anyone I've met," he said softly one day. Margaret smiled weakly. "No," she replied, her voice faint but steady, "I just had someone who wouldn't give up on me." Buddy barked once, proudly. She looked down at him, stroking his fur. "He forgot the dog," she whispered. "And that's what saved me." 6 months later. Courtroom. The trial drew national attention. The story of the rich son who tried to kill his paralyzed mother and the dog who saved her captivated millions. Ethan sat pale and shaking as the judge read the verdict, "Guilty." Margaret was present, Buddy by her side. The court allowed the dog inside that day. It seemed only right. When Ethan turned to face his mother, she didn't look away. There was no hate in her eyes, just sadness. "I forgive you," she said quietly. "But I hope you find the part of yourself you lost, before it's too late." Ethan broke down, sobbing, as guards led him away. Buddy rested his head on Margaret's lap, sensing her trembling hands. The courtroom was silent except for the faint sound of her breathing and the gentle wag of a loyal tail. Epilogue. Months later, Margaret moved to a countryside home run by Tom and his family. They built a small ramp for her wheelchair, planted flowers around her porch, and hung a wooden sign above the door that read, "Buddy's Hill." Every morning, she would sit outside, watching Buddy chase butterflies in the grass. The world had taken much from her but also given her something rare, proof that love, loyalty, and kindness could outlast cruelty. As the sun set one evening, she whispered, "Sometimes, life doesn't forget the good souls, even when people do." Buddy barked, as if agreeing. And for the first time in years, Margaret felt peace.